Coming up on the GRIMM Exchange.
Short and sweet, we take a look at the art of short filmmaking with the guys from Bloody Cuts and award-winning filmmaker Andrew Rutter.
And we have staff member Charlotte unbox her delivery from the Abominable Book Club.
And expressionism meets film noir as we get a sneak peek of our Q&A with the team behind the Barcelona Vampiress. And listen more on today's episode of The GRIMM Exchange. Hey horror fans, I'm Mariam.
And I'm Marcus, and welcome to the GRIMM Exchange, your one-stop shop for all your horror entertainment news needs.
To stay up to date with all our content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. Movies, games, television, what's new in the world of horror? Time to check out our latest horror headlines.
Now, if you're like me and you enjoy a good scary video game, you will likely have been spending the last week playing Resident Evil Village. The game is a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, which has shipped 8.5 million units since last December. In it, you play as returning protagonist Ethan Winters as he traverses the stunning yet creepy locations of the village in search of his daughter Rose. While on his quest, Ethan encounters the vampire lady Acinia Demetrice, as well as a whole host of other terrifying monsters. And let's just say things get intense. In a recent statement, Capcom actually stated that the game has already sold over 3 million units. They also explained that since the first game launched in 1996, the franchise has overall sold more than 100 million units. Towards the end of 2020, it was revealed that Robert Englund was going to be appearing in the upcoming season of Stranger Things. Well, it looks like Freddy Krueger recently arrived in Atlanta to begin filming the recent series, and he's posted a tweet to say so. We know that Englund will play recurring character Victor Creel, who is described as a disturbed and intimidating man who was imprisoned in a psychiatric hospital for a gruesome murder in the 1950s. Good news for horror comic fans, as it's been announced that Oscar-winning actress and director Regina King is going to produce and direct an adaptation of Image Comics' popular book Bitterroot. Bitterroot was first released in 2019 and has received a number of awards. The synopsis for the series reads, "Only the Sangrier family can save New York and the world from the supernatural forces threatening to destroy humanity. But the once great family of monster hunters has been torn apart by tragedies and conflicting moral codes. The Sangrier family must heal the wounds of the past and move forward so they can put their differences aside and take on the forces of imaginable evil that will ravage the human race." The horror legend that is John Carpenter has thrilled and terrified moviegoers for decades with his films, and now he's branching out in a new, fresh direction: audio shows. Along with his wife Sandy, Carpenter has teamed up with audio entertainment provider Realm to produce a series of 3 podcasts, which will debut later this year and continue into next year. In a comment, Carpenter said, "Horror is a universal language that works across so many mediums," adding that this project offers a new way to strike fear into the hearts of our audience. Harking back to the spooky tales around the fire, we can't wait to get round to these stories. The first audio show, which will be called Roanoke Falls, will premiere in October. The show is described as an atmospheric thriller about the fear of the unknown, the dangers of superstition, and the depths of desperation, as a woman investigates a string of murders, and she will go on to find a serial killer waiting in the woods. The Purge franchise is coming to an end. Set in an alternate Earth where a political party in American office introduces an annual Purge Day whereby all crime is legal for 24 hours, their 5th and final installment will be known as The Forever Purge and will hit theatres in July. A trailer is now available and a movie synopsis saying members of an underground movement no longer satisfied with the annual Night of Anarchy and Murder. The Escape Room sequel has received its US rating and it's not R-rated. The movie, which was originally going to be out in April of last year, then got moved to January of next year has been given a PG-13 rating and will now be coming out on July of this year. Are you still with me? And finally, some news for some horror collectors. There's some frightening new figures coming out. First is from NECA. It's this fabulous American Werewolf in London figure, which celebrates the 40th anniversary. It's $34.99, and it comes with swappable heads and fangs. And if you're afraid of clowns, turn away. Hiya, Georgie! From Mega Monsters, it's an 8-inch tall Pennywise from Stephen King's It. The figurine is based on the original TV miniseries and the performance by the fabulous Tim Curry. It has 14 points of articulation and comes with a red balloon. It's available for purchase at fun.com. And those were your horror headlines. There's something exciting about a short film. You're transported into a new world within seconds. Within moments, you need to make sense of what exactly is going on, and it's over as quickly as it's begun. Short filmmaking is an art in itself, and particularly horror short films lend themselves to late-night rabbit holes. With us here today are directors of The Birch, Anthony Melton and Ben Franklin of Bloody Cuts, and director of Peter the Rabbit, Andrew Rutter, to let us in on how short films are done right.
Who can't recall a long summer night sitting by the fire with someone telling a short horror story, scaring the young ones as well as freaking out the adults? Short stories are rooted in fables and fairy tales, and some of the very best authors in literature have used the medium of short stories to tell a horror tale. Charles Dickens with The Signal Man, H.G. Wells with The Magic Shop, The Body Snatchers by Robert Louis Stevenson, Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, and a plethora of output from the father of the short, Edgar Allan Poe. So to no surprise, horror screenwriters and directors have been inspired to adopt the medium for their own vision. Short stories instantly grab the attention of the reader and viewer by throwing them in at the deep end. Horror lends itself well to that format, with a shocking cold open that gets the adrenaline pumping. The condensed running time demands a tight script where every scene has to count. Andrew Rutter, director of award-winning horror short Peter the Penguin, gives us his take on why short films are increasingly popular. Ben Franklin and Anthony Melton from Bloody Cuts also give us their take on horror short films.
There's a lot less commitment, for one, because films these days and people's attention spans these days, I feel like are definitely changing. They're getting a lot shorter.
Horror short films, obviously within the compressed time frame, I think allow filmmakers to get to the meat of the story much quicker. And I think fundamentally you can then have perhaps more in the way of the scares and directing the scares, and you've got a very specific time to do your tension build-up release or whatever the format of the short may be.
This challenge is a proving ground for young filmmakers to master their skill, since most shorts aren't made with a big commercial release in mind. Shorts therefore also give room to weird ideas and creative experiments. The format really thrives when one concrete idea is well thought out and taken to its extreme.
With a short film, and especially horror short films, I think there's a lot more daring filmmakers experimenting and creating stuff that you wouldn't see in a feature film. So I think you can go to short films to find something completely new and fresh. I find that short films, especially horror short films, don't have limitations. So I think you get these crazy filmmakers just going completely wild. They've got no sort of studio interference. They can just completely be expressing their darkest ideas.
Whereas feature films often carry a particular format or a tradition, I think short films can defy those kind of tropes that you might get with the more traditional, say, studio horror film. And I think that's great as a short film maker and as a viewer, because it just means that you can do so much more and you can get so much more out of a short film.
Horror fans like to criticise, so you can get through a whole bunch of them. Some will be terrible, they can just jump on top of all of that, and then others will be amazing and have lots of really great ideas.
And if that short film's not good, then you can move on to the next short film, a bit like a good short story. And if it is great, then maybe there's more from that filmmaker.
It gives filmmakers the chance to get there really quickly and get out really quickly.
Shorts are still underrated and a niche product. Years ago, they were hard to come by and mostly accessible through horror festivals. Thankfully, due to the rise of streaming platforms, more and more become accessible. We therefore want to focus on selected titles that are free to watch on YouTube / your online platform of choice, so you can instantly dig in after this episode. A great example for a fast-paced start and immediate jolt to your system is Playtime. This 3-minute short shocker about a woman being woken up by her TV makes you clutch your pillow with its superbly done sound effects and makeup.
I'll just say now, what's really important is those with payoff will succeed. I think any short film, whether it be horror or whatever, if it hasn't got payoff within 2 to 5 minutes, you're out the door.
Bedtime stories also get straight to the point. You instantly get your adrenaline fix in this classic tale of late-night stories coming true. Wonderfully moody and expertly shot with clever use of lights and shadows, bedtime stories will scare you silly. Sure, most shorts lack the budget or star power of bigger productions, but there are always exceptions. To start off creature-related shorts, we have The Captured Bird by Jovanka Vukovic, including an executive producer credit by Guillermo del Toro. With outstanding production values and great performances, this exploration of innocence immediately captures your attention. An exceptional piece is The Birch by Ben Franklin and Anthony Melton. This horrifying yet hauntingly beautiful creature feature centers around a forest spirit brought to life by a vengeful, bullied schoolboy. With over 3 million views, this short was later turned into a full-fledged series on Facebook Watch.
If we look at, say, something like The Birch, our biggest success, arguably, from every perspective, we probably wouldn't have made that film right at the start. If we looked at what we made at the start to where we got to, there's a big gap. And I think that's through us learning the craft and learning how to tell stories better and to find things that we felt connected with audiences better.
Another entry with beautiful cinematography is Autumn Harvest by Frederick S. Hanna. Inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, this hidden gem tells the story of a grief-stricken sailor answering a mysterious call from the sea. Shot in black and white and lacking any dialogue, Autumn Harvest enthralls the viewer with stunning visuals, great sound design, and a captivating lead performance. A wholly different setting by same amount of craftsmanship awaits us in The Third Hand. The mundane life of a lonely office worker takes a sudden turn when he discovers a mysterious room on the night shift. A masterclass in tight editing, The Third Hand equally shocks and mesmerizes the audience with its dreamy atmosphere and gory outbursts. Shorts like The Third Hand can be effective even though or exactly because they are set in a single location. Latch plays into our claustrophobic fear with the main character being stuck in a tiny closet. The minimalistic setting plays to the strength of short films. If you want some light-hearted horror fare for a change, go and watch We Summoned a Demon. A throwback to 80s splatter films, the funny short centers around a pair of dudes who, well, accidentally summon a demon. Going the funny route as well is Once Bitten, in which a girl needs the toilet fixed in her hotel bathroom. The problem is, her plumber may be a vampire. Gleefully cheesy and deranged, this one is pure fun. The experimental nature of shorts allows for a variety of stylistic choices. Animated pieces are not uncommon. The Backwater Gospel by Wickerworks Animation tells the tale of a God-fearing town awaiting the Undertaker. Earthy tones, looming shadows, and folk music build up to an unnerving atmosphere. This list cannot be considered as a comprehensive guide, but merely an appetizer for a diverse and quality output of shorts that you can enjoy for free. They also perfectly fit into our modern lifestyle. With enough on our daily plates, a 5 or 10-minute short can be enjoyed anytime and anywhere.
You can be quite surprised by a short film, and I feel like, audiences should definitely seek out short films because there's just so much that up-and-coming filmmakers are doing now that is has not been seen before. And I think a lot of the studio movies can't do what short filmmakers are doing. I think there's some amazing filmmakers with different perspectives on the world. If I'm online and I'm looking for horror shorts to watch, there's an element of exploration which is really fun, to try and find that thing which inspires you as a filmmaker or as a writer, and to think, that's such a great idea that I've not seen that done before, and to find those things and to think, there's so many amazing voices out there that could, be directing the next big budget movie, but to find them and like when you find that artist that or that musician and you really enjoy their music and stuff, and to see people flourish.
I don't know whether a lot of the viewers know this, but the absolute joy it gives back to the creators of that film is just overwhelming, really. To have your film watched, and certainly in a free environment, it's just absolutely amazing. When you're entertained by a short film that you watch online, you're paying homage to the people that have made it, and there is a unspoken reciprocal kind of relationship there between filmmaker and audience, and I think it's one that we should try and encourage. Yeah, ultimately you might say that short horror film is often a more truer, honest ink from the author's quill, so to speak.
And now it's time to raise the spooky roof in the Grimm Zone.
Today's Grimm Zone is sponsored by Rocket Artistry. Rocket Artistry turns nails into works of art. Whether you're looking for designs of your favorite horror icons, or just want to put something on with a dark and subtle flair, Rocket Artistry has a range of designs to choose from, or can custom make your dream accessories. When putting together a complete outfit, don't forget, it's the little things that count. And if you want to get some creepy cool nails, make sure to check out their Instagram page and contact them on Rocket Artistry.
Today we've got Charlotte, who is usually on our editorial team, in front of the camera for a change to do an unboxing video.
That's right, she had a go at the book box that's being offered by the Abominable Book Club.
Okay, hi. We have decided to look into the world of unboxing and the treats you can get through the mail, especially during the past few months. And one that I found that really fits everything we would want in the spooky horror world is a book box called the Abominable Book Club. Now, full disclosure, I don't think I can say the word abominable correctly, so I might not say it too much, but we'll link to where you can find this box. I've just been sent it, so I'm very eager to get it open and see what's inside. But this one appealed to me because they like to support small independent publishers, new authors, and local shops and things like that. So I think it's just really important to support those small people. So I'm just going to open the box and we're going to see what's inside, and then I'll do a catch up in a few days to see how everything's been going down. So I'm just going to open this up. Oh, here it is. And it's very cool because you've got the Abominable logo. So all your neighbours will know that you're cool. That's good. So let's just get stuck in. How on earth? Here we go. So unfortunately, the cool sticker gets ripped apart. Okay. Okay, we're in. Right. Let's see what we've got. Okay, this is what you see. Lots of goodies, which is quite exciting. So first thing, berry nuts. Gotta love some berry nuts. So this is for your little your snack while you're reading, and it's a spooky thing. It's a ghost ship. So this will be like some local company, which is very cool. Inspired by authentic American beer nuts, so perfect. Oh, okay. So with every box you'll get a brand new book, and you'll get a mystery secondhand book. So wow, this is really cool. So this is a new book. This is the brand new book, A Cosmology of Monsters by Sean Hamill. And the cover immediately I'm into. And the quote on it is from Stephen King, who says, "I loved it and I think you will too." That's really, really cool. So I will crack on with that as soon as I can. What else? Let's see. The packaging of all of this is really nice, and it's just really, there's a lot of attention to detail, so that's really good. Some little spooky thing. Treats. These are great. You gotta have your hot beverages while you're reading. All the book nerds will know that. So we've got some lemon and ginger. We need that while it's getting a bit colder. Earl Grey. Ooh, gingerbread, coffee, hazelnut coffee, hot chocolate. So everyone's covered. And if you don't like them, you can pass them on to friends. I drink all of this, so I will be happy. Oh, now there's lots of cardboardy bits, so I nearly did miss this. Oh, sweet. It's a little pin. I love pins. Love putting the pins on my denim coat. It's a little pin of a book, and the book says "People to Kill," so that's nice. That's nice. So that's lovely. And you get some cool little bookmarks. Ah, I saw this on, it must have been on Twitter, and I'm sure I looked into how I could get it, and I didn't know, but it was a good job I didn't, because now I've got it. It's like a little zine. Sorry, I'm just gonna have a little read. So this is super beautiful, and it's just a collection of stories and essays, all dedicated to folk horror. It just looks really beautiful, and there'll be some really interesting essays and stories, so that'll be very cool. I mean, look at that. Nice. That's cool. Okay, so the last thing is the second-hand book. I think they go out and they scour all the local bookshops, second-hand bookshops. And then again, the attention to detail, there's a little wax seal on it, which is really nice. So it's like you've got a little present to open. So get this open. Oh, cool. Dennis Wheatley. I do have some of his, but I don't think I have this, The Car of Gifford Hillary. Very cool. I just love collecting old books, secondhand books, horror books, sci-fi, whatever. So this is perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time with all these bits, and future Charlotte, that's me, but me in the future, will let you know what she thinks of everything after a few days, maybe having a bit of a read and eating the bear nuts and that kind of thing. So let's see what she thinks. Hello, so yeah, future Charlotte here. I've had some time to look through all the goodies in the box, and just wanted to do a quick recap and maybe mention some details I might not have picked up on because I was too excited opening the box. I have actually had time to read one of the books, Cosmology of Monsters. Super fun, really, really good. I would say like it's really good to read around Halloween, but you know, any day is Halloween, so you know, this was a fun book that I actually hadn't heard of before, and one thing that I had not noticed when I opened the box was this is a signed edition, which makes it just a little bit more special and a little bit more unique. So that's really cool. The Hellboy magazine is just beautiful, and it's full of essays. I think each edition has a different subject matter within the kind of folklore, but this one is about gods. There's lots of really interesting things, and as I said, it's just beautiful, really beautiful to look at. I think the really cool thing is that, you know, people might have had this box and not known that this magazine exists, and whether they go forward with the subscription and get the box, they may just now go ahead and, you know, go for an edition of this every month because they found out about it through the box. So it's really informative, and it's an interesting way of like finding out about new things, spooky things. So that's really cool. And I was lucky to get this paired with this because I haven't read this one yet, but it's the same vibe. It's the same kind of mythology, witches and magic, so it kind of goes well together, so that was quite lucky. And yeah, all the snacks were super fun. They've all been eaten and drunk, and that's really cool. There is the option, I don't know if I mentioned, to not have all the added on food and drink and that kind of thing. You can just get the books, so that's an option, but I liked all the added extras. It just makes it more exciting, so it was a really nice thing to do for myself. I really think this would be a really great present for someone. So if you're thinking of surprising someone, or it's somebody's birthday, or you just wanted to give them a treat because things are really tough at the moment, this is a really nice thing to do, and it's just super exciting to get this box and not know what's in it. So I would highly recommend it, to be honest. It was really fun and I'd like to do it again. So yeah, we're going to put all the details below where you can do it if you want, and also yeah, I just think it's really good value for money, so highly recommended by me. Okay, thanks.
Tragedy strikes a small mountain town after every full moon. Sounds like werewolves, right? But wait, werewolves aren't real. Or are they? Protagonist Officer Marshall is the only one who can solve this mystery in the 2020 film The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Is the movie any good? Our friend Chad from the Something Wicked podcast is here for a rogue review.
I want to talk to you today about a very cool little film that I watched last year. It's my favourite film of 2020. It's written, directed, and starring Jim Cummings, Ricky Lindholm, and Robert Forster. It's basically about Jim Cummings' character, Officer Marshall, who is juggling between his sobriety, being an ex-alcoholic, his teenage daughter, who's going to university, and his dad, who's the sheriff, who played by Robert Foster, who is ill. And a series of murders, very grisly murders, that are happening after every full moon. I think there's about 6 murders in total in the whole film, kills and deaths, sorry. And so the town's in a bit of a frenzy, thinking that's either a wolf, a werewolf, or a man, but that's up to you to find out. Yeah, it's a very funny film. I really, really enjoyed this film, and I can't recommend it enough because it was so much more funnier than I thought it was going to be. I went into it a bit blind, and I can't recommend it enough. It's a very beautiful film, the way it's shot, the scenery. It's shot in a quaint little town. I'm not too sure where. I presume it's either America or Canada. And it's just beautiful. Again, very funny film, and it all culminates into something very unexpected. But yeah, it's a very good film, and I highly recommend it for you guys to check out. Thank you.
If you want to catch more chats with Chad about horror films, check out the Something Wicked Movie podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
As you know, we here at the Grimm Exchange absolutely love horror films, but we equally love meeting the people who made them, and for that we like to head down to our Grimm Fest basement. So come with me and let's see who we can find today. Ah, yes, oh, basement, so cozy. Now, what's on? The Barcelona Vampiress, or is it Barcelona? Well, we recently caught up with them for a Q&A when it ran at Grimm Fest, the horror film festival that we collaborate with. So why don't we take a sneak peek at what that Q&A looked like?
Bueno, la película se basa en una leyenda.
So the story is actually based on a legend, and they did a lot of investigation, a lot of detailed investigation into the story. They studied the press that was released from the time, newspaper reports from the time, and it's quite a difficult story to follow because a lot of the actual facts have been lost. So all they had was the press, and so they tried to counteract the press from what actually happened.
Pues mira, yo empecé en la película, es la segunda vez que trabajo con Lluís.
He read the original script a long time ago, where his role was a much smaller role, and then one day he met Lluís coming out of a theatre, and Lluís said, "Yeah, you're going to have the starring role, which is going to be the journalist."
Quite the teaser, I may say, but I want to see a little more. Let's see if we can find a clip somewhere.
La gent diu que a les nits hi ha un carro vermell que recorre la ciutat i agafa tots els nens perduts al carrer i els porta a un lloc estrany on els hi treuen el cor i les entranyes.
Well, I'm sold. If you want to catch the full version of the Q&A, check out the rest of our GrimmFest TV channel. That is where we've uploaded it. So have fun with that. Well, sadly, that's all we have time for on today's episode of the Grimm Exchange.
Remember to support the horror industry by watching films, playing games, and reading books.
Speaking of films, particularly short films, don't forget to check out the rest of our YouTube channel, GrimmFest TV, to marvel at the morbid makings of some amazing independent filmmakers.
And finally, special thanks to our sponsors, Rocket Artistry. We'll see you next time on
The Grimm Exchange.